Okay, I'm going to try to use earphones because when I don't use the earphones, you hear all the air conditioner stuff. So I'm headed to go get my son for his trauma therapy. I'm just going to talk off script, ad lib, whatever you call it. I don't usually have a script, just off the cuff. It's hard to do this on demand, so it's going to take me a minute to get started, and I know people click out within 3 seconds of videos, and so I'll probably end up having to splice this part out anyway and to get to the point where I can actually talk and you can hear my heart. I kind of don't want to even make the video at all because I don't want to even talk about it, which is weird because I love to talk and I process externally. But I think the fear for me is if I talk about it, couple things. Number one, I'm afraid it's going to swallow me whole. Like, it's just so heavy and so much. I'm afraid it's going to completely take me under emotionally. I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind and have a psychotic breakdown and never recover. Like, that's that fear, like the worst part of that. Number two, which I want to say this, I know that's not going to happen. Like, I know it's not going to happen, but I don't know it's not going to happen. Like, it's like a war, you know? And number two, I don't like being misunderstood when I talk about real hard things in my life by the faith culture. And I absolutely am probably one of the most faith-filled, spirit-filled people that I know. And I have wrestled with these things for over a decade now. I mean, like, really wrestled. And almost 2 decades. And so I don't take it lightly what I say. I don't just flippantly say things. Unless I'm mad, I might say something if I'm mad. But for the most part, I don't just flippantly put words out in the atmosphere. I mean, I recoiled when I heard Candace Owen talking about Charlie's text to her years ago where he professed over his life that he felt like he may not live out his mission, that he felt like he was going to be cut short and his life would be cut short. And I was like, oh, he professed it. That's why it happened. You know, that was my first thought. And then I had to stop and go, no, because like, we're powerful, but God's so much more powerful than us. And when you have the prophetic gift and you have a calling from God, you also have this tension where you can see into the future. And it's not a lack of faith that you are admitting what you're seeing in the future. So there's just that whole thing. I mean, we know Jesus is coming back, right? So why are we trying to stop suffering? And why are we trying to stop, you know, all these digital IDs and all these powers that be, you know, enslaving us? Well, because Jesus isn't here yet. And so we are trying to keep ourselves free and people around us free and lead people to Christ on the journey to when he's coming back. Like, we know he's coming back. We don't just say, well, bless God, he's coming back. And, well, some Christians actually do that. Some Christians just go, oh, Jesus come soon. Jesus come quickly. And they don't care to realize what they're saying. I shouldn't say they don't care. I don't think they care to understand or comprehend that what they're saying is basically, it's all about me and my comfort level, and to hell with all the people around me. You know, all the suffering and all the other people that don't know Christ. Like, that probably offends people that I just said that, but that's what it says to me. When I hear people say that, I just think, how selfish. Like, we are literally, like, on one hand, yes, Jesus, come quickly because I'm hurting and I want to be relieved from my suffering, okay? And that's great. That's faith. I understand that. And they may not mean it literally like I'm seeing it, but when I hear that, that's where my mind goes. I think, well, right now, since he's not coming right now, or he'd be here right now, we got to move past that thought and go to the next thought. Okay, while I'm waiting, while you tarry, what do I need to do? Who can I help? Who can I serve? Who can I love? Or how do I just need to love, help, and serve myself to rest in the comfort of your presence and your power? And see, I get on tangents when I start talking because there's so much in my head. And I'm procrastinating talking about the hard thing right now. I wanted to use this time to talk about my son and what we're walking through. And I don't want to over dramatize it. I don't want to get a lot of attention in a pity, sympathy way. any attention I do draw from the work I'm doing to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to be genuine, to be transparent, and to be an advocate for what we're walking through, I want it to have people move past the pain of what I'm saying, past the pain of the grief that I'm going through and that he's going through and my family's going through, and ask, okay, there's the pain, but what next? What does this mean? What do we do while we wait for God to come back and rescue us and take all of our tears away and all of our suffering away? Because on the journey, there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of people that are sitting by, donating money, sending prayer hands, sending encouragement, but they're actually not really doing anything more than just perpetuating a very dangerous cycle of Christian apathy that's keeping all of us in this huge mess where we're going to be overtaken and overcome by so many catastrophic events, weather events, mass shootings, government overreach. Like, there's so much that can happen at any given moment. And when our church, our body of Christ, is not set up to systematically, literally be the hands and feet, strategically, operationally, for each person in the body that needs help, we're just going to be overtaken. Like, we're just going to literally be overtaken. And that's my fear right now, is I'm looking at my life and I'm thinking, okay, so I've walked through chronic illness and chronic disease and chronic accidents and all kinds of things, and divorce and all the things I've walked through. And I'm observing the church, the body, and what people have done and said and given and not given and not done and not said. And I'm just like, okay, everybody's doing the best they can for what they can. And I understand that. I totally understand that. But it is time to level up. It is time for the church body to level up. We are absolutely needing to upgrade our system. Like, our system that was working in the 1950s and 60s does not work anymore. Our neighbors don't know each other. We don't even have healthy ingredients to make our pies to bring to someone that's suffering. I mean, like, we cause more harm than good with the things that we're doing that are outdated. So it's time to level up. I think every church needs a social worker paid on staff. And everybody that's not donating to their church, step it up. Every church that's nonprofit, become for profit. Like, where does it say in the Bible that you have to be a nonprofit? And at what point did we think it was a good idea to compromise and become nonprofit to get tax exemption status? It's just a mess. That's a whole nother topic. All this to say, figure it out. Like, we need to figure it out, because families like mine are hurting so bad. And systems like the medical care and the government political machine, oh my gosh, I have to say this. I just have to say this. I want to save it for later, but I'm going to say it right now. It is not about the Republican Party. TPUSA, it is not about strengthening the Republican Party with the next generation. That is not what it's about. That is not what Charlie was about. That is not what it is about. You have lost your way. It is about having a political party or a group of people who support living like Jesus told us to live in this earth. Loving people, serving people. And yes, that includes the prosperous life. Absolutely. But not at the expense of our brothers and sisters. It's such a mess. For years before, for years when I started voting in my 30s. And I was just like always bothered that I had to pick a side. I'd walk in and be like, why am I picking a side? Like, what? Like, I don't want to pick Republican or Democrat. I want to pick independent. But never was there an independent person running, not since I started voting in my 30s. Never have I seen an independent person running that had the media coverage and the freeway to think when I went and voted that my vote was going to count. And so I would just, okay, I'll just vote Republican because they're more aligned with my beliefs as a Christian in this country. But yet I really believe in the left policies for government aid and things like that. And I think the Christian policies for that, the Republican policies for that, I'm mixing Christian and Republican. And see that, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Anyway, I never understood why the Republican tickets were so hard on food stamps and social services, and I until I went through it. Until I went through it. And I got to experience living in poverty and firsthand knowledge of what that's like and how difficult that was. And I got to test those Republican theories and those Christian theories, and it wasn't fun. And if you haven't been on that side, I just rolled my eyes. That's so tacky. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with emotion right now. I still haven't talked about the hard thing with my son. I'm coming to pick him up. When it's time, I will. Maybe I will. It's just too hard. What has happened is so unjust and unfair. It should never have happened, but it did. And I'm walking through it right now, and he's walking through it right now, and it's so unfair, and it's so unjust. And it's in our country. It's in our America. You know, tens of thousands of dollars paying for insurance, health insurance, and you can't even get the care that you're asking for, the care that you're needing, the life-saving care. It's just unbelievable. And until the body unifies and rises up, this won't stop. It won't get better. We have to rise up. We have to unify. We have to rise up. You have to stop looking at the messengers, and you need to start looking at the message, and you need to start with the Word of God, and we need to work out from there. And we need to look at the fruit of the people spreading the message.